Flat Cap Chef, and we're now going to do mashed potato. This is a staple food, one of my favourites actually, and you can add all kinds of flavours to it. But let's just create some basic mashed potato. Down we come. Okay, so I'm going to use, in this case, a white potato. You can use a red potato. In fact, I'll probably use both. Remember with the potatoes, even if they've got these little bits growing on, it doesn't matter. You can just clip them off with a knife. The potato itself will be fine. So I'm going to use a knife, a potato peeler, a potato masher, and then towards the end, just show a slightly different way, a wooden spoon. Now, in terms of how much potato, I reckon around 2 to 3 of these mid-sized potatoes is a generous portion for one person. So you can then work out multiples of that. So we start just by peeling a potato. So in this case, I'm just going to whiz around it. There we go. This one's quite a nice one, a little bit black at the end there, so just take that off, don't really want that. Then finish off this end. There we go. Right, done. Get those out of the way. Now, you may find you've got a potato and it's got, this kind of not very pleasant bit. So taking a knife, the rest of the potato will be fine. Just cut through and you can see now that bit's gone. If you don't have a peeler, you can use a knife to simply peel your potato. So I just like to take a thin layer. I do it like this with my thumb behind, working towards it. There we go. So if you don't have a peeler, you can still do it with a good knife. Work the way around. There we go. Speed it up a bit just for this. There we go, peeled. So, next thing is we want these cut. We don't want to cut them this big because they're too big. So what I do with virtually every potato is bridging across, cutting to 3, 1, 2, and then fingers out of the way, down the middle. And now we've got pieces that are all roughly the same size, and the smaller they are, the quicker they're going to cook. So with a slightly bigger potato, same thing, bridging, cut it into thirds, down the middle. Now these bits are a little bit bigger, so chop those in half, the centre section, and we've now got, they look a little bit big, I'm going to chop those down as well. Now we have all broadly the same, so now we need a pan. It's got some water in it, so we're going to now just put these potatoes into the water. I then give it a bit of a swish around. Okay, whoops, there we go. And that's just to get rid of the starch. You'll see it comes off, so I then drain it into my sink I've got over here, refill it. So you want the water to cover the potatoes, maybe half an inch, centimetre, 2 centimetres above. So now you've got your potatoes there, and then we put a little sprinkle of salt, and that will then go on the stove to be cooked. I've got some that I'd done here earlier. Just going to pop this up here so you can see what's happening now. There we go. So we've got our potatoes cooked and steaming. About 15 minutes is all it's going to take. I'm going to drain those off. So we get rid of the water. About 15 minutes, around 20 minutes. How do you test they're done? If you stick a knife in or a fork, it should slip in really easily. So they're now done. Now, there are several ways you can do this. You can just use butter and then mash. You can use a mix of milk and butter. So the richer it is, the more butter you've got in this. So I'm just going to put a knob of butter. So just a piece this sort of size. Drop that in there. It's going to melt pretty quickly. And then I'm going to get some milk. So I have my normal milk, just a splash of milk in here. Not too much, okay? Add your milk a little bit at a time. You can add more, you can't take it out. Now we just use the masher to crush down. And if if you put too much liquid in, you end up with more like a potato soup. So you want to do it a little bit at a time so you get the consistency you want. Some people like it thicker than others. I like it reasonably solid. I don't want it running around my plate. So that already, with even that small amount, is looking pretty good. I'll add just a splash more milk. It really is just a little bit at a time till you get that lovely creamy look. For me, that's already looking pretty good. The more you mash it, the more you'll get all the lumps out. Do as much as little as you want. And that needs probably just a touch more. One final mash. There we go, I can see that now. That's a lovely texture. Now, you may have seen on programs people using what looks like a big garlic press, and you put the potato in and squeeze it through. It's called a ricer. I don't have one of those. I don't think they're necessary. Just a little bit of elbow grease works just as well. If you've got one, great. Now, if you like your potatoes a little bit creamier in texture, simple thing is a wooden spoon. You just kind of beat the potato like this, whipping it round, and that will smooth the potato even more. So this is more like a creamed potato, and it's changed. So there we go. That is mashed potato, all sorted.